Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this finally Friday morning. It is about 8 o'clock now. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live for you here. If you don't know already, you can join us every morning between 8 and 9 for this Facebook Live. It's on your feed. You can also join us on our InForum YouTube channel or your favorite podcast platform. Just go to inforum.com/podcast. Look for the InForum Minute. All right, I'm Scott Engen. Bethany and Newquist joining us this morning. Yes. Bethany, you had a kind of a fun morning out at the Fargodome. Tell us what was going on there and what you did.
Yes, so yeah, at the Fargodome, this it's already yesterday, but the rest of the weekend, there is the Red River Valley Sportsman's show.
Yes.
And so obviously a lot of sportsman stuff, like hunting stuff, fishing stuff, but then they also have a lot of RVs there and boats and any kind of camping stuff, all sorts of cool stuff to look at. And they have seminars all weekend, so I got to talk to some people and check out all of that.
Yeah, you got to see, well, at least from what I remember, you got to see some boats, a pontoon, a big old camper. It was one that you can put all of your stuff in, like a toy hauler type. And then you also got to see a sauna, which I thought was really interesting. I don't know how much you remember about it, but tell us a little bit about the unique sauna.
Oh, yeah. So there's two different saunas. There's a couple differences, but they were like Amish-made saunas. And cool. They are fully like electric. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so really easy to like transport and just plop anywhere you want a little sauna. Could fit like 4 people in it.
And I think it's funny you say little. It's pretty big though. I mean, you could fit, it'd take up a lot of room. You probably put it outside though, right?
Oh,
It's not an inside your house type of deal.
Yeah, it's not like a whole setup inside by any means.
Cool.
That's what I mean by little, I guess.
But yeah, Sportsman show going on at the Fargodome all weekend. Looks pretty cool. You get tickets online or at the box office?
You can probably get tickets. There. So yeah, you can go on the fargosportshow.com and then they have all the information for like tickets and times, and there's even like $1 coupons.
Cool. All right. Thanks for giving us an update on that. We'll get to your local headlines in a minute, but Dillon's joining us now. Dillon, what's going on with the weather today?
A little breezy out of the south overnight, so there is some drifting, probably some pocket drifts on some roads, especially out in the country. Yeah. Be expected, and I've heard there's a lot of icy roads too. Of course, that south wind blowing snow over the road all night, it's going to cause black ice. So be wary of that. There's a surprise slick spots is what we like to call it. So it may not look slippery, but there's going to be some of those slippery spots that you're not going to expect them. So just take it a little slow today. Otherwise, we're going to be warming up to about freezing today. Get some good melting going on with some sunshine, but we'll stay breezy out of the west. Not as breezy as this morning, but probably about 10 to 20 throughout the day. So not terrible, just not great, you know. And then tomorrow, another day near freezing. Sunday, not looking too bad to start. But then we're watching a chance of snow Sunday night going into Monday. Nobody wants to hear that. No. But it's looking like, Monday morning's commute doesn't look too great right now. So, of course, we'll be giving you updates on that as we wrap up the weekend and start the best day of the week.
Woo!
Friday.
Well, Monday. Next week.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's the best day of the week. It's going to be great. It's going to be Monday with a snowstorm.
What more could you want?
I know, right? Isn't it just great?
All right, Dillon. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, let's dive into some local headlines this morning. We do have some breaking news that we were following all morning long out of the Northern Valley. We know at least one person is dead following a rollover crash. That accident happened on County Road 15, just east of the Minto-Warsaw area in North Dakota. 23-year-old Dominic Billmeyer was headed west when he went off the road. His 2 passengers were thrown from the car. Neither of them were wearing their seatbelt. Both the driver and a 25-year-old woman were taken to the hospital to be treated for their injuries. A 23-year-old woman who was also in the car, she's from Grand Forks, she died in that crash. We are still working to learn her name. We're also working to learn if the road conditions may have played a factor in this crash, and we're also working to find out if there's any charges that could be coming. Okay.
So today, the man who was shot earlier this week inside a Jamestown home, 65-year-old Jeffrey Nokloby, is being held in jail on an aggravated assault charge. He's accused of slapping and hitting his girlfriend over a 4-hour period leading up to the shooting. Police say he was shot in the arm during the domestic dispute Wednesday morning. 64-year-old Terrell Getz told police she went and grabbed a gun from the bedroom and claimed she shot Jeffrey accidentally. A defense lawyer said the fact she left the room and came back with a gun may be an obstacle for a self-defense claim. However, her mental state could also be considered.
It's going to be a big story going forward to see how it plays out in the courtroom, so we'll continue to follow that. Right now, police are looking for more answers after several schools in the region had to go into lockdown. There was a series of hoax calls saying that there were active shooters, also known as swatting calls. We now know schools in Fargo, Grand Forks, Bismarck, Mandan, Minot, and Jamestown were all targeted in this whole thing. Now, none of the threats were real or credible, but multiple schools like Fargo North chose to go into lockdown just as a precaution. You never know, you can't be too careful. Fargo police say the threats they received came from outside the region, and they continued the investigation this morning for the suspects.
Okay. We're working to learn when we could see a man in court after he was arrested for stealing a car with a baby inside. Police have told WDAY the call came at 3:20 Wednesday afternoon from a neighborhood a block west of Hornbachers on 25th Avenue North. Less than 15 minutes later, investigators spotted the stolen car a few blocks away near downtown Fargo and attempted a traffic stop. The driver got out and tried to run before getting arrested. The baby was found safe inside the car. Thank God. 26-year-old Michael Warren is being held in the Cass County Jail. He's facing 6 charges, including reckless endangerment and fleeing in a motor vehicle.
Big story on the national scale today, the Alec Murdaugh trial. The disbarred South Carolina attorney faces up to life in prison after a jury found him guilty in the shooting deaths of his wife and his son. The verdict comes just days after Murdaugh took the stand and admitted that he lied to investigators about being at the crime scene just minutes before the murders happened. Murdaugh will be back in court later this morning for his sentencing. Prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty in this case, but Murdaugh still faces 30 years to life in prison without parole.
Newly released court documents show a, what is that word?
Cache
of items were seized from the family home of the Idaho murder suspect. An evidence log released yesterday shows knives, a cell phone, black gloves, black masks, laptops, and dark-colored clothes and shoes were found at Brian Koberger's parents' Pennsylvania home and where he was arrested. Criminology books and notebooks were also seized, along with a shop vac, medical records, and school-related paperwork. Koberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder in the stabbing death of 4 University of Idaho students.
All right, a big day for sports on our network. We're airing both the semifinals of the North Dakota Class B Girls State Basketball Tournament and the Girls State Hockey Tournament. So on WDAY, we're going to be carrying the Girls B Basketball Semifinals starting at 6:30. And then over on WDAY Extra, we're going to be having the girls hockey semifinals. That starts at 5:30. The consolation games for both tournaments starts at noon and then 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can watch those on InForum.com through WDAY Sports Plus. Now, if you were hoping to watch our normal scheduled programming for Friday night primetime shows on WDAY, you can still do that. It's just going to look a little different. Shark Tank will air on True Crime Network at 7 o'clock, and then ABC 2020 will air there at 8 o'clock. So an exciting time for all the girls' state sports and that kind of thing going on. And we also have Summit League coverage of the Summit League tournament in Sioux Falls, where our sports team is there for that this weekend. You can watch it all, talk about it. Dom's going to be talking about it on Hot Mic this morning from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra and InForum.com. So you don't want to miss any of the action.
Definitely. Okay, and yeah, don't forget, for 99 cents a month for your first 3 months, you can get a all-access pass to InForum.com. Just visit InForum.com/subscribe to get that deal.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
For sure.
Remember, we have a newscast starting again at 11. Dylan will have your latest updates on the weather. We'll have updates on local news stories as well. Then we have you covered at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 as well. You're going to be on First News this weekend, of course, covering ongoing weather, also the sports, I'm sure, that's going to be going on this weekend.
Definitely.
Then you can join us again Monday morning for First News from 5 to 7. We'll have live updates on those potentially messy Monday morning commute conditions as well. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the nice weather while it's here before we get hit by the snow again.
Yes.
Bye, folks.